I'm afraid that I've got to that age where I've decided the whole world is obsessed with sex, which is good news really, because until now I thought maybe it was just me. Sometimes you hear people say men only think about one thing. Well, men aren't the only ones. Here are some covers from the magazine Cosmopolitan. 50 kinky sex moves, sexiest body ever, your other G-spot, 25 ways to kiss a naked man, every inch of him, Fool's sexiest lingerie, Cosmo's Kama Sutra Bad Girl Edition, 78 crazy hot sex facts, orgasm guaranteed, 12 love moves to turn him to mush, 4 steps to a sexy ass, 21 mind-blowing sex moves, 262 hot looks and sexy hair secrets, crazy sex confessions. And remember, these are only the front covers. My mind boggles what goes on inside. I'm not being critical. I would love to have a job on Cosmopolitan magazine, and I would love to organise the front covers, although I might find it difficult to do with a straight face. Although sex is an important impulse for all animals, can you see there's something missing on the front covers? Well, the Count Everything channel is only too happy to help, so I've come up with some fixes. Love, loss, madness and stoicism, content with the world and your place in it, pure love, careless of all other things. These days, erotic romantic love is encouraged, but 2,000 years ago, if you were in love, you went to the doctors or you went to your chosen temple, because for the ancients, love was a form of madness sent to you by the gods. And it's only in recent years that we've realised how insightful the ancients were, because with a modern MRI medical scanner, a functional MRI scanner, it's possible to see that the brain of someone who's in love is working in exactly the same way as someone who has obsessive compulsive disorder. Well, as Stoics, we want a peaceful mind and we want to be in charge of our thoughts. So, should a Stoic suffer the madness of love? This is what Seneca has to say about it. We should not trust ourselves to fall into a state that is disordered, uncontrolled, enslaved to another, contemptible to itself. If our love not be spurned, we are excited by its kindness. If it be scorned, we are kindled by its pride. And easily won love hurts us as much as one which is difficult to win. We are captured by that which is compliant, and we struggle with that which is hard. Even the most honourable love can be troublesome. Pure love, careless of all other things, kindles the soul with desire for the beautiful object, not without the hope of a return of the affection. What then can a cause which is more honourable produce a passion that is base? So there Seneca says pure love is amongst the most honourable of things, but then he goes on to complain about a passion that is base. Does he mean sex? Does he mean selfishness? You know, pure love has his object of beauty that it wants to get. In another one of his writings, he says friendship is better than love, because friendship is completely selfless. You know, you don't want to get anything out of your friend. And he says friendship doesn't cause tears, whereas love sometimes does. Also, Stoics are much more in favour of things that come from within a person, like joy or pure love, and they're much more concerned about things that come from the outside world, like pleasure and sex and that sort of thing, because they're something that's beyond your control. You know, you can't control who wants to have sex with you. But anyway, it all seems a bit problematic. So what would happen if you tried to resist love? Well, here's an extract of a play by Euripides called Hippolytus, and it's the story of a queen who's fallen in love with her stepson, and her nurse is trying to console her. This is what Euripides wrote, and it's probably about 500 years before Seneca was alive. It is not anything extraordinary, anything beyond all reckoning that has befallen you, but it is the wrath of the goddess that has descended on you. Madness of love comes from the gods. Are you in love? Why is that so strange? It is a condition you share with many. Aphrodite, if she streams upon us in full flood, cannot be withstood. Against those who yield to her demands, she comes in mildness. But the one who she finds to be superior and proud, such a one she takes and mistreats ever so badly. She moves through the air, she dwells in the sea wave, and all things come from her. She it is that gives and implants love, that love of which we on earth are begotten. Mortals, you know, should not try to bring to their lives too high a perfection. if the good we have done outweighs the bad, then on the human scale, you would be fortunate indeed. It's troublesome to fall in love, but dangerous to try and resist it. So what are we to do? Can a Stoic fall in love? I think a good Stoic can fall in love because they understand the world and their place in it, and they accept the way the world is and how other people behave sometimes. Sometimes Stoics do become upset, but then they realise they're not upset because of what's happened in the world, but because they think either they forgot something might happen or type of thing might happen, or they realise they didn't understand the world well enough to anticipate something might happen. And so then they think, well, I've learned that now, and now I understand the world better. And a good Stoic accepts whatever comes without complaint. And so they use that understanding of the world and that approach to help them with the ups and downs of love. Try to perfect yourself, if for no other reason, in order that you may learn how to love. So what sort of things would a Stoic prepare themselves for? Someone will be thus poised if they reflect on the possible ups and downs in human affairs before they feel their force. And if they come to regard children, a partner or property with the idea that they will not necessarily possess them always, and that they will not be any more wretched just because they cease to possess them. Here's a much more practical example that Seneca gives. For Stilbo, after his country was captured and his children and wife lost, as he emerged from the general desolation alone and yet happy, spoke as follows: "I have all my goods with me." Sometimes academics read that paragraph and they take it to mean the Stoics are wary about loving somebody too much because in the future you will lose them and that will cause you pain. I take it to be the other way around. Because you will lose them in the future, it's best you make the most of them while you have them and you love them as much as you can. And in that regard, it's no different to other Stoic thinking. For example, none of us can really control how long we live, but we can all control how well we live. So none of us can control how long we're with our partners, but we can all control how much we love them and the good times we have with them while they're here. You know, one day you will lose your partner through accident or illness or old age. They're always free to go whenever they want to. You know, Stoics value their freedom, so they wouldn't want to deny anyone else their freedoms, especially the person that they love. The trouble is, none of us ever get to be a good Stoic, so we just have to do the best we can. I know someone whose husband collapsed and died in front of her in the garden. She took it very hard. I still see her now and again because I go to her house to help her fix her laptop. She has a custom mouse mat, and on the mouse mat is a photograph of her husband. The password she uses is his name plus the date that he died. While I'm wrestling with the Windows operating system, she talks to me about him. She took it very hard when he died, and 20 years later, she's still struggling with it. Can you imagine what she would give to have her husband for a day or even just an hour, you know, to tell him her news and to ask how he is? If you're a Stoic, you think about this all the time. You appreciate your partner, so you do have that time to make the most of them. And if you do lose them, then hopefully you can have a peaceful mind because you think, well, we had good times together, I made the most of our times, I've got no regrets because I always knew one day we would be apart. And from time to time, you do meet people who have lost someone and they do seem at peace with the world, don't they? You know, they talk about their partner with great joy and warmth. And although obviously there's that sadness that they've lost them, there's also just that peace of mind, you know, of a life well lived. Believe me, a great part of those we have loved, though chance has removed their persons, still abides with us. When the first news of some bitter loss has shocked us, then tears are wrung from us by necessity of nature. But different are the tears which we allow to escape when we muse in memory upon those whom we have lost. And there is in them a certain sweetness when we remember the sound of a pleasant voice, a genial conversation, and the busy duties of yore. At such time the eyes are loosened, as it were, with joy. True love is a rare thing, and few people are worthy of it, and something that's rare, whatever it is a splendid thing, and without love, life is nothing. But everywhere people are mad for money. We all think about money, but we don't always think of the people that we love.